how can I make my conversations more engaging? How can I add more energy when I communicate? And how can I draw people with relative ease? If these are your questions, then you are at the right place, and this video is absolutely for you. My name is Mohit Jagwani. I am an entrepreneur, life coach, and one of India's top speakers. And my goal with this channel is to help you be the most powerful version of yourself, physically, mentally, socially, and financially. And today we will be talking about how you can increase your energy when you communicate. So if that sounds interesting to you, watch this video till the end and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. So without further ado, let's get started. So your energy is what shapes your perception whenever you communicate, and whatever energy it is that you emit, that is picked up by other people. Now you might be wondering, what exactly is energy? Three things: your facial expressions, your tone of voice, and your body language. When you combine all three, you kind of get a good idea about what exactly is your energy. Now, why is this energy important? Well, as I've mentioned before already, if you have low energy, people are not going to feel as attracted to you. In fact, let me narrate an example to you. So I had a maths teacher. I mean, he's still alive, but this was back in the day when I was in, I guess, 9th or 10th standard. And let's call him Umesh Sir. Now, Umesh Sir had a very monotonous way of speaking. He did not use as much of his hand gestures. He did not variate his voice, and his body language was poor. It did not feel as if he had any sort of enthusiasm whatsoever. And I'll be honest, back in the day, it felt as if we are attending Umesh Sir's class, it's a death sentence, and the cause of death is boredom. Yeah, no, genuinely, right? I know I don't want to sound very harsh, but that was our perception. And it's not as if he was a bad person. Umesh Sir was a wonderful, beautiful soul. And he actually did really want to help children out. He wanted to help them improve their mathematics, and he was a good person. I talked to him on a one-on-one level as well. And not just in his professional life, it was difficult for him to communicate with people in his personal life as well. He was not able to attract as many friends, as many partners. I mean, I don't know. It's not as if I peeked in his personal life, right? I was not a nosy child, but that is what it seemed. On the other hand, though, there was another mathematics teacher, and his name, let's call him Jitu Sir. Now, Jitu Sir was he was filled with brimming energy and excitement. He even used props at times to make us feel more engaged. He was enthusiastic, and at times he even cracked jokes, which, by the way, to be honest, were not that funny. But we loved him anyway, right? And not just in terms of his professional life, sure, we felt really engaged every time he taught us, but even in his personal life, it was really easy for him to connect with other teachers, create friends, create friendships, not just with teachers, but also students. And I'm sure it was easy for him to create friendships outside of the school and his professional life as well. And it kind of sounds unfair that people that kind of master this skill of energy have it really easy in their personal as well as their professional life. So that being said, now I hope you understand the importance of energy. If you have good energy, it's going to be easier for you to attract better people, better opportunities, and in turn, both of these things lead to more success. And if you're not be able to convey with that much energy, your energy is not that infectious, then it's going to be very difficult for you to thrive in your personal as well as your professional life. Now, how can you actually enhance your energy? So there are two ways. Now, before I talk about those two ways, you need to understand what exactly is your energy like. In which one do you feel you are in? If you don't know, ask the people around you. What do you think is my communication energy? Is it high and very energetic, or is it calm and composed, or is it in the middle? Now, whichever one it is, if you have this one, then you need to move towards the opposite one. So for example, if you have the calm and composed energy, then you need to move towards the high and infectious energy segment. If you already have that high and infectious energy, right, and also if you have this calm and composed energy, there's a big chance that people sometimes might say to you, either they're going to say, oh, I love your energy, it's very soothing, or they're going to say to you that sometimes you should speak louder. Okay, if you have very high energy, then they're going to tell you, man, you have a lot of power in your voice, that's positive. Or in the negative way, they'll say that sometimes you should control your voice and speak slowly, right? And let's say if you are in the middle, then there's a big chance that people don't pay a lot of attention to you, and they don't say anything, or they might say both of these things. Okay, so just figure out, and I'll just give you an analogy. What we'll be doing is that we'll first be figuring out which energy do we want to move towards. So whichever one you have, move towards the opposite energy of that. And if you don't have both, then again, first move towards the high energy, and then moving towards the controlled energy is going to be easier. We'll be talking about two methods. First is inside out. So the inside out method is the method wherein you focus on the inner world, the inside version of you first. And the way you do that is through meditation or visualization or affirmation. So these are things that help you work upon your inner self. These work upon your identity. Okay. After that is outside in. So this is you taking actions externally which impact your inside, right? So in this scenario, you will speak in a very loud manner or very soft manner, or you will just use your hand gestures. And this is going to become a habit, and it'll become an identity eventually as you practice it, and you will internalize it the more you practice it. So this is outside in. In inside out, people don't know what's happening on the inside, correct? Because when you're working, they are not able to understand what exactly is happening. But on the outside in, people can tell that, okay, you're practicing. So that's outside in. Okay, now which one works? Both of these work actually really well, but which one works better for you? Whichever one causes the most amount of change in you is the one that works better for you. In general, though, what I've observed is that first people try outside in, they get used to that, and then inside out becomes easier. So that is what I would recommend as well. But now, how do we actually practice outside in? Now, whichever energy state you are in, okay, move towards the opposite of that energy. For example, let's just take the muted version or the monotone version. If I meet someone that speaks in a monotone, then what I would first ask them to do is that unleash that energy. And the way I'll make them unleash that energy is by helping them scream at the top of their lungs. No, genuinely, not even kidding. Because when you scream at the top of your lungs, man, my neighbors are gonna kill me. Okay, but when you scream at the top of your lungs, then what happens is that you have this energy release. And many a times the reason we are unable to tap into that high energy state is because whenever we did, when we were child or when we were young, we were scolded that, oh, don't speak loudly. Or whenever we used to cry, right, our parents used to scold us that stop crying. And in fact, I remember there was a child that was crying. Okay, and every time that child cried, the parent was like, I will slap you if you cry more. And I know it's very toxic. Okay, and as a result, what happened is that eventually child used to cry slowly, and he did not express as much of his energy. This affected his life without, now the parent might have good intentions, but without even his realizing or her realizing, he or she affected their child in a negative manner, and they suppressed their child's energy. I know this might have happened with you as well. If not this, then something similar to this, wherein something happened and you had to suppress your energy. When you shout, you release this energy, and you might even feel happy when you do this. You might feel uncomfortable, but the energy that you might feel on the inside, that might make you feel happy. So this is outside in. So try the screaming first, and then try the whispering part next. Try and speak in a very slow and low tone of voice. Do this on a regular basis. And if you want, you can find a partner as well. And what you can do is that you can have two people, and both of you tell each other, okay, louder, like have these energy bars. For example, if I'm over here, then I'm speaking in a low tone. And then as I move this up and up and up and up, my energy and the way I speak, it increases its volume and energy, body language, all of it. So whatever this bar is at, your energy is going to be over there, both of you. Okay. Now, what this does, the reason I'm asking for two people to do this activity is because if you're doing it alone, you might feel uncomfortable. But if you're doing it with someone, you're going to enjoy it and it's going to be fun. Okay. So, this is outside in. Now, once you've done outside in, then you can move on towards inside out. And in inside out, all you need to do is visualize. Just close your eyes and visualize as if, and by the way, do this right now. Okay. If you are in a room that is surrounded by people, I request you to actually go in a room wherein there are no interruptions, no distractions, and you can hear me properly, peacefully, and follow my instructions. Okay. So pause and go if you're not, and just observe. And I hope you've done that. So now I want you to visualize whatever I say. Imagine that you are about to go in a room, on a stage, in an auditorium that is filled with people. And these people are desperately waiting to hear you speak. And you're very excited. Now, generally, you might feel nervous, but today, the same feeling, your heart beating fast, you feeling that breathlessness, that energy inside of you whirling, your hands feeling heavy, you interpret it as excitement this time. And as you're about to go in front of that audience, you feel that excitement bubbling up, you calm yourself down, and you channelize that excitement. You go in front of the audience and you exude that energy. You speak in the way that is so magnificent, so energized, so beautiful. You're speaking the way you want to speak. That is the best speaker version of you. Whatever your energy is, whether it's high or low, visualize you addressing your audience with that energy. Your audience is giving you amazing responses. Sometimes they're high, sometimes they're laughing at your jokes, sometimes they're just screaming oohs and ahs, and you're just super happy to be there. And as you're about to end your speech, you just give your last final 15 seconds with as much energy, positivity as possible. And towards the end, your audience gives you a huge applause with a standing ovation. Feel that ovation. Feel that energy. Accept it and thank God for it. Thank Him for this experience. And as you gradually come back from the stage to your room, I want you to gradually open your eyes. Amazing, right? And it is one of the most beautiful things that you'll ever experience. Trust me, I say this with experience. And imagine that you are already this person. And now, just take out a camera, have this energy inside of you, and narrate your introduction or your story, whatever it is that you want to narrate, whether you've done outside in or you've done inside out. After you felt that energy, remember it, keep it inside, and then narrate your story. you are going to observe a huge difference in the way you communicate. And that is the power of both of these methods. Both of these methods work. You can utilize whichever one you want, and it's going to absolutely change the way you communicate. Okay, so this was about how you can have your energy, how you can enhance your energy, practice inside out or outside in, whichever one you feel brings the most amount of change in you. Practice that. Now again, remember, practice the one that brings the most amount of change, not the one that you are comfortable with, the one that brings the most amount of change. And then there's a big chance that it might not be the most comfortable method, but if it's bringing change, then that is the one that you're supposed to do. Okay, so practice these things, thank me later, and that's all from my end. I will see you in the next one, and I'm creating a series of videos that are going to help you become a better communicator, better speaker. So if that sounds interesting, do not forget to hit the subscribe button. That's all from my end. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. Take care.